Hey everybody, Spartan here from SpartanTrading.com. I want to hit you guys with a quick little educational video today. And in this video, I want to talk about primarily recognizing choppy markets, or recognizing when markets are getting choppy so that we can basically back off trading, slow down what we're doing, be patient and not get stuck within those basically choppy price action type of moves where, you know, a lot of the times you're getting stopped out, you're giving away a lot of your gains, things like that. So whenever I see that the market is kind of slowing down or getting into a choppy basically range, what I'm looking at primarily is the market on the daily. Now, when you look at the market on the daily, what we're seeing is a market that doesn't really have any direction. So primarily what I'll be looking for is if the market gets stuck within a support resistance, a support level and a resistance level, basically sitting above at a support level like it is right here where it's above the 50 EMA, and you can see that it's above or below certain resistance levels like this, head and shoulders on the weekly, head and shoulders on the monthly as well as head and shoulders on the daily. If the price action is between two of those levels, it's going to be stuck within that range for a little bit of time, and you're not really going to have any direction on the market in general. If that's the case, market's likely to be choppy, and what we're supposed to be doing at this point is primarily just waiting. We don't know, whether or not the market's going to be pushing higher or lower. In this case, in the short term, it tells us that we're going lower into the longer term support. And once we test that longer term support and it holds, it's telling us that we should push back up and retest the short term resistance level, which we can see in both cases it did happen. But we're still stuck within this range. So how do we, address this, or how do we deal with this when we're actually trading? Reduce your size, trade less, or altogether just wait, be patient. I mean, this choppiness does pass. We will get direction on the market again. If you're ever unsure in regards to the direction of the market, most likely it's stuck within a range like this. It should be fairly obvious in regards to being able to draw a trend line and seeing where we're trending up or down. In the short term, of course, you can scalp these types of moves. You can scalp on the whatever intraday time frame you're going to be looking at, but just note where the top and bottom of that range is, because you're likely to see reversals at that area. So in this case, if I'm looking at, and I'm going to mark the EMAs as well as the top of that monthly, weekly, and daily head and shoulders, and you're going to see that you'll see that a lot of the time the price action bounces around these levels or off of these levels. So in this regard, you can see that we bounced off the bottom, which is where that 50 EMA was, got to the top, got rejected there. In this case, we broke that resistance level, got to the next resistance level, got rejected there. You can see that in this case, we got actually above it. It failed to confirm, aka a couple days closing above that level, and then it pulled back below, and you can see that it traded back to the bottom of that range. So if we know where these levels are, you can intraday have a decent probability of success trading off of these levels. But this is where you just look for trend reversals and things like that, and you would treat them more as scalps. On the swing side of things, this makes things a lot more difficult when we're stuck between ranges, because we don't really know what way the market's going to go. The market could break down, it could push back up. A lot of the times what I do is I just take the neutral approach, where if I do have things on the long side, I will start to hedge them with either using, SPY puts or whatever, industry I think looks weak. I'll be grabbing puts on that. You could also, grab some, if you think there's going to be a volatility increase, you can go after the VXX, the VIX, UVXY, things like that as well. So this is just kind of my thought process, how I do it, in my opinion, what I'm looking at in regards to when the market gets choppy. I think it's relevant now, so it makes sense to be looking at. And it's always something to consider, of course, when you're kind of unsure or you start getting stopped out of things more frequently after a pretty bullish run, which we've had in the last couple of months here. So hopefully this helps, guys. Just a little bit of insight for me in that regard. If you guys have any questions, you can go to SpartanTrading.com. Happy to help you guys there. Otherwise, I'll talk to you guys next week. Have a good one.